Hi everyone, so bit of an unorthodox video here today from me, considering I actually wasn't even planning to upload anything today in the first place, but also at the same time, this specific kind of video is one that is a video I was really hoping I didn't have to make in the first place. It is one that I feel is necessary to talk about considering it does affect my childhood first-person shooter franchise in Call of Duty. And before we get into it all, I want to make it clear, I am not one of those channels out there that is predicated on talking about Call of Duty in a negative state anytime something bad comes out of it. I know there are many other channels out there that are based on that, and while I don't want this to be one of those videos, I still think it is very important to make it considering that recently, with what news broke about the current Call of Duty client that's being worked on in SM2. Usually I find that getting angry in a video about something and doing it for the reasons that don't help to push constructive criticism aren't helpful enough and don't get anywhere. I am somebody who is really not liking to what this franchise has turned into, and in particular what Activision has done with it for the past 5 or so years. They are going to be the main talking point of this video because, as we found out very early this morning from the creators of the SM2 Call of Duty client, they will officially have to shut down all of their operations due to the fact that Activision had filed a cease and desist against them. A cease and desist is a written notice demanding that the recipient immediately stop any illegal or allegedly illegal activity. And now, for those of you who didn't do any research into what this means or have any previous understanding of law, basically a cease and desist letter is much different from a cease and desist order. As you can see here on screen, one of the main key differences is that in a letter, it does not prohibit the activity from being continued, but could receive legal action if the person who sent the letter forward wants to do so in said legal action. In an order, it literally prohibits any type of activity from continuing. So basically, in a sense, the creators of SM2 could by definition still continue working on this client, but in some cases there would have to be a list of things that they would have to do in order to allow that to happen in the first place. One that comes to mind, and this relates to the thought that I had before I made this recording, is that they would have to move off a different engine. Basically, for those who are unaware of this, there was an update from the creators of the client back in April of this year where they had decided to move on from the IW4 engine, which is the one that was used for the original 2009 Modern Warfare 2, and moved over to the H1 engine, which is the one that was used for the Modern Warfare Remastered game. So now that, funny enough, I'm making this video, I have to say, I'm actually even more bamboozled than I originally thought I was. Because having now looked at all the available information that I just laid out here, this is even more scumbag behavior out of Activision than I originally thought. You see, basically, I would have said I could understand why they were filing the cease and desist letter if the creators of SM2 were using the current Modern Warfare engine for the previous couple of games that we've gotten in the last several years, but that is simply not the case here. They are using an engine from an older game that is not currently being utilized anymore, just like how they were originally using an engine from the original Modern Warfare 2 that is also not currently being used anymore. So this now brings it back to that one graphic that I brought up for you all, which showcased this notion that one of the allegations that is addressed with a cease and desist letter or order is copyright violations. If we actually came to find out that they actually filed the cease and desist because of defamation, I would laugh hysterically because that would just show the loser behavior of this company. For those who know what defamation is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in this case, the only other allegation that would make sense is a copyright violation in the matter that Activision is saying that they are using copyrighted material based on the engines that SM2 is utilizing to be created out of. But let's take for a moment and say that that was the case. Why did it take so long for Activision to file the cease and desist in the first place? Just for context, for those who don't know, this Call of Duty client has had work put into it for the past several years. This isn't something that just started getting worked on in the last several months. At the same time, again, when we bring up this notion of the engine that is currently being utilized for this client, it still doesn't make any sense that a cease and desist would be filed in the first place, because like I said, Activision isn't utilizing that engine anymore. And if they believe that it is a copyright violation, then plutonium might as well just be a gigantic copyright violation. For those who don't know what plutonium is, but I presume do, that is the biggest Call of Duty client / modding tool that is active in the world right now for this franchise. It basically offers for people to play games like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, the original Black Ops, and World at War, and experience them with a lot of great dedicated servers, mod support, and much more, while at the cost of being free. By any definition, this Call of Duty client is also using Activision's old engines. So I'm just curious, Activision, why isn't the biggest one in the world right right now the one that's receiving the cease and desist? Why is it that the one that is currently being worked on that has taken so much time from people who are not even getting paid to make that client in the first place, why was it so necessary that you had to ruin it for them? At the same time, let's also take into fact that this client was going to release for free, just like Plutonium, and was not going to have any microtransactions inside of it that would allow for the creators to make money off of it. You see what I'm saying here? It feels very just out of nowhere that something like this would even happen. Again, I'm someone who's looking at this from the outside in. For all I know, maybe there is a legitimate reason why the cease and desist was ordered that we just don't know about, and will come to light if one of the SM2 creators comes out and says so. But let's say, for instance, one of the main developers comes out and says it was for a good, legitimate reason, then all this would have been for nothing. But I know deep down, knowing Activision and the scummy practices that they put into their games, and even outside of their games, it wouldn't shock me if this was for a stupid reason. They don't know how to handle their own games, and they certainly don't know how to handle all the stuff that happens outside of their games inside of their own company. If you know what I'm referring to, then I don't need to go into it any more than that. It has already been discussed enough, the types of things that Activision and even Activision Blizzard have been doing with regards to employees and the general workplace practices. Activision has become a shamble of what it once was with their games. It has now just turned into maybe the most greedy gaming company in the world, even outdoing EA. Like, do you know how hard it is to outdo EA of all companies? SM2 was going to be something that gave a lot of people hope with this franchise, and it would make them want to come back and play it again. The fact that along with this we are not going to be getting it, but also we continue to see that the merger of Microsoft acquiring Activision continues to be delayed, this franchise just can't help but get worse and worse by the day. And also, for clarification, in no way, shape, or form should we be getting mad at the main developers in Treyarch, Sledgehammer, or Infinity Ward. They are not the ones who filed the cease and desist. I know Infinity Ward is currently working on one of the top 3 worst COD games we've ever had in Modern Warfare 2 2022, but that still doesn't mean we should be getting mad at them for this when it was all Activision's doing. I know we also got the recent news about the fact that we are getting yet again another COD game come early fall, just like we do every year, even after Activision specifically said that they were going to be taking a 2-year break. So not only do they lie terribly, but also ethically they are just the worst. At this current moment, I am really teetering on whether or not I will ever buy another game from this company. Again, granted they are not the main ones who make the games, it is the other 3 developers. And so let's say, for instance, this Modern Warfare 3 game that Sledgehammer Games is making is good. There's a chance maybe I'll get it, but that is a very slim chance, especially after this news, and especially considering the fact that Sledgehammer dropped the ball heavily on their last several games, which they couldn't even get out in time because for some reason they struggle to even make a video game nowadays. I would also not be shocked if we see sometime soon that Plutonium gets taken down because Activision yet again shows their scumbag and greedy ways. The day Plutonium gets taken down is the day that I think you will legitimately see riots at the Activision headquarters. Hopefully that day never comes, and hopefully we are closer to seeing Microsoft hopefully acquire this company so that they can rid us of the garbage that is currently inside of it right now. I would also hope that maybe that there is a potential chance that Microsoft lets the creators of SM2 continue their work, because as far as I'm aware of, I don't know of any cease and desist that Microsoft specifically has handed out with regards to gaming in their past. If they have done that before, drop it down below in the comments with all the information. So yeah, basically that was the gist of what I wanted to say in this video, because like everyone else out there, I'm very upset that this even was something that we have to talk about, and by the day now at this point, I just think that my level of care for this franchise continues to dwindle from what it once was back when I was a kid playing games like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. I simply just don't care for it anymore, and I will probably continue to not buy any new games that come out, considering the last 4 to 5 that we got were either mediocre or garbage. And until the rats inside of Activision are taken out and Microsoft acquires this company, I genuinely don't know if anything good will come from it moving forward. We will just have to wait and see. So again, I know this was a video that just came out of nowhere, but it was one that needed to be made. I was actually really looking forward to this COD client and playing it because, again, as I said already, I don't really play new COD anymore. I've only been playing a lot of the older games, which still to this day are infinitely more fun than anything that has been put out recently within the last 5 or so years. And if you disagree with that, guess what? That's fine. I respect that opinion, but you are just objectively wrong. No COD game that we have had comes even remotely close and compares to what we used to get. Call of Duty isn't even Call of Duty anymore. It's literally just Fortnite, but in a Call of Duty skin. They don't care about these games anymore, they just want to keep pushing them out with the same lazy gameplay decisions and monetary ones and continue to push the community out. I'm telling you, one day if I ever get control of this franchise, I will happily bring it back because someone like me at least knows what this franchise needs to be fun again. That is the one thing I can absolutely say is missing from it all, which is fun. There is nothing fun about Call of Duty anymore. But I'm going to end it there, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to drop a like and spread this video out, and comment down below your thoughts on this entire situation, and also what I had to say. And again, I'm not somebody who is used to making videos like this, and so if you want to stick around and just watch more gaming content from me, I would hopefully appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more in the future from me. I hope you all have a great rest of your days and rest of the week. I'm currently about to go on a small vacation and will be back uploading next week, so I'll see you all then. This is Orion, signing out.